It certainly was a day of tears for us on air today, just speaking to these communities. Let's go from Johannesburg to Durban now. Deson, you, of course, managed to speak to a former gangster in Phoenix. It was shocking to hear what he had to tell you. Tell us more.
Yes, Shahan, in fact, we spent the day in Phoenix talking to not just former gang members, but also other stakeholders really in this broader issue of gangsterism. So that included former police officers, it was the CPF, other security officials, and really just some community input as well, just to get a better understanding of what the extent of the problem is. Now, you'll know that it came to the fore after that shooting we saw last week, Thursday it was, when an alleged gang leader was shot at the Gateway Theatre of Shopping. And that's also reminded the community that this problem exists there. It's not something that's only come up now. And it's largely linked to the drug trade in the area. We're told that many of the gangs that operate in Phoenix are really at their core drug dealers. And even now, they operate with impunity. And this has come from a variety of sources there. This gang member that we spoke to was also involved in the drug trade. He's since left that life behind. He spent more than 10 years in a gang doing the bidding of gang bosses. Shahan, let's just take a listen to some of what he shared with us.
Got into it just naturally. It was seeing, it was active, it was fun to us. We were really, getting into somewhere that way we thought that we're going to get bigger, we're going to get better. It really doesn't work that way.
What was the attraction? Because you'd also said to me that you came from quite a religious family, and that change is quite drastic.
Bad, very, very bad. We drop off our religious, we drop off the respect. People look at us in a bad way, no more in a good way. And, it was bad to see our kids were growing up in that same condition. So we never allowed that. I never allowed that at all. So I put my foot into it and I tried to get back out of it because it never really paid out.
All right, since we're all over the story in 3 different cities, I'm going to start again with Masego. Tell me about how people feel about police visibility and how they're dealing with the issue of gangsterism in Westbury.
Well, Shahan, according to the community of Westbury, after October, when the Minister of Police, Bheki Cele, went there after those weeks of protests with residents demanding that he come there, calling for Amaperete, or actually formerly known as the Tactical Response Team, they finally did, the Minister finally did demand that the Tactical Response Team make sure that they are visible in the area. The community is saying they were visible for about 2 months after that, so November and December was very good, but apparently since January, the response actually just lowered a bit and it just dwindled down bit by bit until now. But they do say that the crime has gone down. And after a little while, Shahan, after spending most of the day there, we did actually spot the tactical response team checking vehicles to see if the vehicles are roadworthy, if there's nothing that, people put in their vehicles that is not supposed to be in that vehicle. They were searching people. So we did spot them after most parts of the day that we spent there. We finally spotted them.
Very interesting, Leanne, because I watched your morning crossings on Morning News today. You were talking about not seeing police for the better part of the morning, and then during that conversation, police arriving behind you as well. What are people saying?
People on the ground have little to no faith in the police service, be it the City of Cape Town's law enforcement authorities or the SAPS. Like I said in my crossing this morning, there was no visible policing in Lavender Hill. Ironically, while we were busy doing our crossing, a police van then approached. Seemingly somebody told them that we were in the area and in the heart of gangland when this police vehicle approached. The City of Cape Town also just sent a statement an hour or so ago saying that it is now putting steps in place to support the SAPS because of this recent spate of gang violence in Cape Town. It seems Manenberg has stabilized, but focus has now shifted to Hanover Park, Bonteheuwel and Lavender Hill, and the city has adjusted times of the shifts and deployments to respond swiftly to any calls of gang violence on the Cape Flats. But again, this is all all good and well on paper, but in reality, the residents on the ground are not seeing this being put into action. The bodies are still piling up. People are still dying. The shooting is still continuing.
Yeah.
So where the buck stops now, we don't know, but there's no police visibility on the ground.
Very quickly, Dearson, same question to you. What are people saying about policing regarding gangsterism?
Shahan, there's a mixed bag there, really. Some are saying that, and the CPF is saying that the police are doing their jobs. Unfortunately, many people in the community are saying that the police are actually supporting the drug trade. Some are accusing police of being on the take, of receiving money from drug dealers, and that's why these drug dens continue to exist. Just today, while we were talking to a gentleman from the Anti-Drug Forum, he just pointed out a house just across the road, and he says, if you wait here long enough, you'll see people walking in and buying drugs like they were buying cool drinks from a tuck shop. So I've put through a detailed list of questions to the SAPS and KZN. They tell me that by tomorrow they should have a response for me on those issues.
All right, thanks so much for the great reporting, guys. Appreciate it. Maseko Rahlacha, Leanne Jansen, and Dearson Thathia, of course, in Durban.